Okay. So this is the configuration that I'm talking about, the difference amplifier. I want you all to have a look at this because we are going to be using this to create those linear equations. All right. So have a look at this particular thing. If you have any questions on this, it's basically the exact same thing that we did with the non-inverting amplifier, where we applied what do you call the superposition theorem. All right. So do that and check if you're able to understand this. Nidhi should be joining in by that time.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Oh, perfect. All right. So, Nidhi, you can take over. So, I've just asked them. So, in today's lecture, I discussed with them the inverting and non-inverting summing amplifiers. All right. They are currently going through the subtractor network. Okay. So, your job starts off with specifically explaining why we require these linear equations, so that where do we require them, and why is it that we use these two or three op amps, and why it can't be done in a singular op amp. So that's the kind of track that I'd want you to go with. Sounds good?
Sir, can you please say that once again?
Yeah, sure. So the first particular thing that we are going to be looking at is basically what is a non-inverting and an inverting summing amplifier. So if we can simulate those particular things, okay. The next particular thing after that is we'll be looking at a subtractor configuration, which is a difference amplifier, okay. And then how do we use this to basically build up linear equations? Okay, so where exactly are these linear equations implemented? So like what Rihas mentioned in the conclusion, all right. So where exactly are these linear equations, or why exactly are these needed? And why can't we do them in a singular op-amp configuration? Why do you require these two or three op-amps when we are building those linear equations?
Okay, sir. Just give
Perfect.
me a second to go through that part. I don't think I have prepared that part. So just give me 1 second.
Sure,
I'll just go
sure,
through the hard
sure,
part.
sure, sure. So if you need help on this particular thing, Riha's experiments been opened out over here. In case if you want me to navigate to any particular points, let me know. Of course, I'll be there to help you in the explanation. So we'll crack it together.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Nidhi,
sir.
you're,
Should I start? So,
yeah, you're now a
yes.
presenter.
Okay.
So I've stopped my screen share. You can take over.
Okay. Hi, guys. You can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're gonna start off with today is continuing from what Nandini taught last time. So what she taught last time was the inverting amplifier, and we're just going to be adding on to that and build the summing amplifier circuits from that. So before I start with that, I actually just wanted to show you all something, which is I think something that Nandini forgot to do last time. So I believe that most of your LT Spice default settings have a gray background with black waveforms. So for some of you, that might be something that you don't prefer. So I'm going to teach you how to change that. Do you all see this hammer at the top left corner of your screen? So that is the control panel. Let me know if someone can't find it. You click on that and you go to drafting options, and over there you can click on color scheme, and then from this drop down just select background, and you can drag all of the values down to 255. So that will give you a white color. Now this is obviously only if you want to change it, but I found that this helps a lot when it comes to taking screenshots and pasting them into Word. Is there anyone who has
Perfect.
doubts with regards to this? All right, looks like nobody. You can also go to waveforms right here, and you can again go to color scheme, and you can again select the background right here and drag all the values to 255 if you want the background of your waveform to be white instead of, I think black is the default.
Right. That helps. That helps a lot actually.
Yeah. Guys, anybody, any doubts, anyone isn't able to change, just let me know. All right, I'm going to assume you all don't have doubts. Right, so let's recap a little about the inverting amplifier first. This was the circuit that we had built for the inverting amplifier, and the equation we had observed for that is V out is equal to minus RF by R1 into V in. Okay, so we're going to be using the same configuration to build the inverting adder now. So all we're going to do here is we're going to add more sources as in signals to add. So I'm just going to show you all the circuit. But before that, the equation for this is given here. So as you can see, the gain for each of these voltages is different. It is decided by RF upon the respective resistor connected to the voltage source. So we're just going to go ahead and build the circuit now. Now, what I'm going to actually make you all do is, instead of creating a new circuit from scratch, open the inverting amplifier that you all did with Nandini teaching, and go ahead and click on this tool right here. If you can see my mouse hovering over it, it says copy. It is the duplicate tool. So you can take that, drag it over your entire circuit, and you can simply copy the circuit and then drag it over to the left top of your screen to the new schematic button. And when you do that, you can directly paste it into the new document. So now we do not have to build this circuit from scratch. We can simply make modifications to the previous circuit that we have built. I'm just going to zoom out so that we can view the entire circuit. If you're wondering why my VCC and VEE looks different from what Nandini had done, it's simply because I have changed the port type to input right here. You can also leave it as none and it will go back to what she had taught you. Okay, now as for making modifications to this circuit. For this experiment, we're not going to be using AC signals, we're going to be using DC signals instead. So I'm going to go ahead and press delete, and I'm going to cut out everything that I want to cut out, which is essentially this voltage source. Yeah. Like she taught you last time, there's a draft button at the top of your screen. So you can use that to find a voltage source and just go ahead and place 3 of them. As in this experiment, we're going to be using 3 voltage sources to sum up the voltages. Then we're going to grab our grounds from the top and go ahead and place them here. And we're going to finally pick up resistors and we're going to add them to our circuit, like so. Then we're simply just going to connect the circuit. If you're a little confused by me connecting the resistors directly to this point, it is similar to connecting all of them to the inverting terminal, because this whole line here acts as a single node. So we can do this too. It just makes the circuit appear a bit more simple. That's why I'm doing it. But you can do it even connecting onto one single node if you want. Right. So now I'm going to give values to all my voltage sources. So I'm just going to simply randomly give values. I would recommend that you pick smaller values of voltage, because over here, as you can see, I have given plus and minus 12 volts of VCC. So if our added voltage exceeds 12, then it will not give us like a correct output. So you should probably take values of voltage such as 1, 2, 3, or maybe even smaller than that. And for the sake of simplicity of our equation, I'm just going to go ahead and rename this voltage source as VA, and then VB and VC. I'm going to go ahead and do that for the resistors too. Okay, so now comes the tricky part, which is the designing. What values of resistors do we take in this summing circuit? For that, of course, you need to know the problem statement, what to do. And to know that, I'm going to teach you the 4 applications of this summer circuit. I believe you've covered this in class already, sir?
A basic, yes.
Okay.
So a basic part, they know, yes.
Okay, sir. So then I'm not going to do the derivation for it. So I'm just going to start off with this equation that we saw earlier, which is V out is equal to minus RF by RA into VA plus RF by RB into VB plus RF by RC into VC. Okay, so now this equation that we just saw is called a scaling amplifier. In this, essentially what happens is every voltage is given an individual gain, and you can amplify that voltage by that much gain before applying it to the summing circuit. The second type is called a summing amplifier, as you can see here. So now in this, we take the values of RA, RB and RC. You can see RA, RB and RC on my screen. I hope there isn't too much lag.
No,
So we
perfect.
take all of these values and we take them equal to one value R. So it's simple. We're just going to substitute RA, RB and RC as R in our equation. So what we get over here is RF by R, RF by R and RF by R, which we can take out as common and simply write the equation as minus RF by R into VA plus VB plus VC. This is our summing amplifier circuit. Just give me a second. I'm going to drink a little water.
Sure. So if you'll realize, when you're looking at this particular circuit, if let's say you want to give the gain, if you want to give the op-amp output a gain of let's say 2 or 3, right? So you adjust the values of RF by R equal to 2. Okay. However, if you want that it's only a summing amplifier, no amplification on the output, then basically you will take RF also equals to R, which will just give you VO equal to minus of VA plus VB plus VC, right? So you want amplification, you do a scaling of RF by R equal to whatever based on the resistances that you select. Else is just minus of VA plus VB plus VC if RF is equal to R. Yeah, Nidhi, go ahead.
Right, yeah, that was what I was going to say next. That is the regular inverting adder. The fourth type is going to be the averaging amplifier, which is just about as simple as the inverting adder. So now we are considering 3 inputs. If you're averaging out 3 inputs, it's simple mathematics. You just divide it by 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this RF by R value to be 1 upon 3. So essentially, we're going to have RA equal to RB equal to RC equal to 3R. And RF equal to R, which gives us a ratio here of R by 3R, which is equal to minus 1 by 3 into VA plus VB plus VC. So you get obviously an inverse of the average of the voltages. So we're going to try implementing this on LT Spice now. And the first thing I'm going to start with is the simplest circuit, which is the inverting adder. We're going to have all the resistors at the same value. I've already set this resistor at 1K, we changed that to 10K. Yeah, okay, so they're all 10K now. I don't believe we've learned how to do the DC operating point simulation, so I'm just going to show you that. So you click on the run button or you can click on simulate. Either way, it'll open your simulation command option. So with there, you just click on DC operating point. That's it. You don't have to do any other settings and just click OK. So what it's going to do when it runs it right here is it's going to list out all the values, but we don't want to see this. What we want to see is what our value of V out is, because I've been a student like you. We don't really care about the others. So I'm going to click here. We can't really see this properly, so I'm just going to right click on the value and I'm going to assign it to V out. I'm going to delete this dollar sign, and then we're going to click on this tool right here that says move, and we're going to drag this voltage about here. You can see like this random pin here which we don't like, so I'm going to go to view and I'm going to click on, I'm sorry guys if I'm going too fast, please tell me at some point. So I'm going to go to view and I'm going to click on mark unconnected pins, and that's going to remove that part. So now I can simply just keep this here and you can view the output voltage. So theoretically, what we're supposed to get for this is 1 plus 2 plus 3. And that's exactly what we're getting. Our value is pretty close to 6 right here. It's minus 5.999 something. So the minus sign here, obviously, as you can guess, is because we're using the inverting adder. So it's always going to give an inverted output.
Perfect. Nidhi, could you just repeat the procedure for the DC, that if you could possibly slow it down and show it to them once again, so that if anyone's trying, they could do it once again with you?
Right, of course. Just going to go ahead and delete it. If you want to delete something, you don't need to click on this scissor right here. You can just click the delete option, like the delete key on your keyboard, and delete stuff. Right. Also going to delete this OP right here. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go to simulate. I'm going to edit simulation command. Okay. Now once you get to the screen, you just click on DC operating point here, DC OP PNT. And once you go there, you don't need to do any other settings here. This is it. So you just click OK. You can place this anywhere on your screen. Now, in order to view the output value right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on run. And this pop-up window will open right here. Now this is listing out all of the values, the current through the resistors, the voltages. We can obviously view this for our help if we want. But the main thing we want right now is V out. So we are just going to go ahead and close this. And we're going to click here. I'm sorry, I need some water.
Yeah, take your time, Nidhi. Nidhi, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. What we're going to do is we cannot view this value right here clearly because it's covered by V out. And if you try to drag it around by itself, okay, now it's happening. But essentially what you can do is if you drag it around now and place it at another point, it's going to show these question marks because it doesn't know where to take the value from. So you're going to click on this and you're going to remove this dollar sign and you're going to click on V out. Why is it not showing it anymore? Wait, I'm just going to undo this so it comes back. Right, okay. We're going to right click on this and we're going to click on V out here and we're going to delete the dollar sign. So now this value of voltage is associated with Vout. So now we can move it around wherever we want. So I'm going to move it around here. Now, usually what will happen on your LT Spice is that there will be a pin like this. Like, do you see the square that's floating around underneath my value? If you want to remove that, you can simply click on view and you can uncheck mark unconnected pin right here. So you just uncheck that and your value is just by itself, not floating over some pin. So you can just drag it around to wherever you want. And yes, as we can see, our output value is correct. It's pretty close to minus 6 volts, and our theoretically calculated value was minus 6 volts. So our first circuit is working. All right. So now we're going to make a modification to this circuit to make it the next kind of circuit, which is the averaging circuit, like I mentioned here. So the only thing we need to replace here is our RF value needs to be 1/3 of RA, RB, and RC, or this has to be 3 times RF. Already set this as 10K, and we know that there is a standard resistor value of 3.3K. We're going to click 3.3K right here. Guys, an important thing I believe to do while you're simulating is to actually use resistors that are available to us in real life, because it gives you like a realistic way to actually simulate the way that you would do in lab if you were actually there. So yeah, we're just going to, if you want to know what the standard values of resistors are, you can find it on any website on the internet. Just type standard resistor values and use that list to pick values that are standard. So for example, 1, 1.5, 2.2, 3.3, 4.7, those are standard multiples in which resistors are available. So we're going to be using those. So yeah, RF is now 1/3 of these values, and ideally our output should be the average of these 3 voltages. So it should be 1 plus 2 plus 3 divided by 3, which is 6 divided by 3, which is 2 volts. So we're going to see if we're getting 2 volts. Yep, as you can see, we are getting minus 1.979, which is again pretty close to minus 2 volts. So our averaging circuit is working as well. Now the third type of circuit, as you can see here, is the summing amplifier. So in this, we're going to multiply this VA plus VB plus VC by one common gain, which is RF by R. Yeah. So what we want to do here is select an RF by R ratio that gives us a good gain. Now I'm going to select, okay, let's have a gain of 2 about. So I'm going to select 22K, which is again a standard value of resistor. And I don't know if anyone's noticed yet what the problem with our theoretical output is going to be practically, but I'm just going to show you so you can figure out for yourself. So the moment I run this circuit, you can see that I'm not getting the output value that I wanted. It's going to be, what we want is minus 12 volts, but instead we're getting minus 11. And there's a simple fix for this. The reason this is happening is because I have set my VCC and VEE to 12 volts each. So if I set these to 15, this is going to solve the problem. So as you can see here, I'm getting 13 volts. That is strange. Oh, 2.2 should be the gain. Yeah. Just a second, I'm going to run my calculator. Okay, yeah, that's about correct. So yeah, what we're supposed to get is minus 13.2 volts, and what we are getting is 13.199, which is again close enough to 13.2 volts. So we can see that our circuit is working as well. So remember that if your value is ever not coming right, always just check your VCC and VEE values, because that might be the problem. And of course, we cannot exceed VCC and VEE by a certain amount. You can't just keep turning it up. I think there is a cap to it. So what you can do is try to reduce your input values in order to get the correct output. All right. So now we have the first type that we had studied, which is the scaling amplifier. So in this, each one of the inputs has a gain of its own. So we're going to start at this point with the linear equation implementation. We haven't done the subtractor yet, but we can implement just adding linear equations using this kind of circuit. I'm going to place text. So if you place text, you can either go to edit and place text, or you can just hit T and you get the text option. So I'm going to go with an equation that says 2VA minus 3VB, sorry, plus 3VB, pardon me, and plus just BC. We're not going to give that any gain. So the gain for that is going to be 1. So this is, 1 second. Yeah, comment. Okay, so this is the equation we want to implement. What I'm going to do is, for getting a gain of 2 over here, the ratio, I'm just going to go back to the Word document. So if we want VA to have a gain of 2, the RF by R ratio should be 2. Or you can cascade multiple resistors to get like an accurate value in the equation, but for now I'm just going to kind of use 2.2K so that I can get this.
Yeah, I think if you can possibly, if I open up Riha's document, it shows those cascaded resistors.
Yeah. So I'm just going to open her document.
Yeah.
So she does have cascaded resistors in this circuit. So I'm going to zoom in so y'all can see. As you can see here, she's trying to get to 5 kilo ohms. So she's cascaded 4.9 kilo ohms with a 100 ohm resistor. So that way you can get pretty close to 5 kilo ohms using that. So yeah, if you want to get accurate values for gain, you can cascade multiple resistors so that you can kind of get these accurate values of gain that you want, but practically. For now, for simplicity, I'm just going to take an RF value as a multiple of 6 and 2. It's a non-standard value, but I'm going to take 6K. So if I want my RF by RA to be equal to 2, I'm going to take this as 3K. My RF by RB is supposed to be equal to 3. So this is going to be 2K. And I want my RF by RC equal to 1. So we're going to set this as 6K. Okay. Using this, our equation should be satisfied. Let me just make sure that it isn't exceeding 15 volts. 6 plus 6 plus, that is 2 plus 6 plus, okay, yeah, it's good. So the value we should be getting is 2 volts plus 6 volts plus 3 volts, which is equal to 11 volts. Yeah. As you can see, we're getting minus 10.999, again close enough to 11 volts. So our the scaling circuit is also working well. So as you can see, we can use this to implement these kind of linear equations. Now to go further in the domain of linear equations, we do need to study the subtractor in order to, sir, do you want me to cover the non-inverting adder also once before doing subtractor?
I think you can possibly, I think you can. If the I don't see any such changes that would be needed. Let me still check if something needs to be brought to their attention. I don't think so, actually. We can skip that and move to subtractor.
Okay, so I can provide this Word document to them on Teams if they want to refer to it later.
Yeah, that sounds good, because non-inverting adder shouldn't have anything extra that needs to be taught in. It just would be calculations again based on the gain that you require and the resistances.
Yes, I think the only difference is that you can't really implement the amount of circuits that you can with the inverting amplifier.
Right. So if you can possibly just broach on which particular circuit you can implement with the non-inverting, that's also that they don't rack their brains on what can't be done.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, um, so according to what I saw, I believe the only circuit that you can do with this is either like um, an adder with a gain, like a scaling
Mhm.
amplifier, or you can just do a simple adder. Is that correct?
Right. You can't do an averaging.
Okay, so this is because over here, as you can see, the formula is 1 plus RF by R1 into VA plus VB plus VC divided by 3. So to get our regular adder, what we've done is we've taken RF by R1 equal to 2. So when we do this, we get 1 plus 2 equals to 3. And we can cancel out this 3 in the numerator and the 3 in the denominator to get VA plus VB plus VC. And this is how you come up with the main adder equation, the non-inverting adder equation. The other kind of amplifier, the other kind of summer that we can do with this is the scaling summer. So in that, you can give a 1 plus RF by R1 value as a gain to this. So then the gain, of course, as you can see, will not be 1 plus RF by R1. It will be 1 plus RF by R1, the whole divided by 3, as this is 3 right here. So based on that, you can provide a gain to your entire circuit. Okay. The next thing we're going to study is a subtractor. So the main purpose of a subtractor, as you can tell from the word, is to subtract one from the other. Now our op-amp has two terminals. One is the inverting terminal and one is the non-inverting terminal, whose polarity is minus and plus respectively. So in our subtractor circuit, obviously the voltage that is appearing at the positive terminal is going to subtract the voltage that is appearing at the negative terminal. So here I have taken the non-inverting voltage as VA and the inverting voltage as VB. And then we have four resistors in this circuit, which is R1, R2, R3, and then there's of course our standard RF. The equation for V out, I believe Mayur must have covered the derivation in class, so I'm just going to pick up from the last step of the derivation. The equation of V out is this long thing right here, and to simplify this, what we're going to do is we're going to take R1 equals to R2 and R3 equals to RF. In this equation now, the above equation, I've just substituted all the R2s with R1 and all the R3s with RF. So if you want, you can just read through these steps. I don't think I'm going to read out everything, but we can cancel that out and we can get to the equation where we have V out is equal to RF by R1 into VA minus VB. Now, if you want to simplify this even further, we can take R1 equals to RF. And if we do this, then the RF by R1 ratio is going to be 1, and your V out answer is just going to be VA minus VB, which gives us a basic subtractor circuit. Now this is a really important circuit because this is that missing part that we were talking about earlier in our linear equation implementation. So I'm just going to so is it required for me to build the circuit or should I just open my own?
You can open your own circuit.
Okay.
You don't need to build it up.
All right. So I have made this circuit earlier. Again, I just copied one of the circuits, pasted it here, and changed the components accordingly. So as you can see here, I have taken my R1, R2, R3, and RF values as 10 kilo ohms, which gives us that sweet equation of V out is equal to VA minus VB. I'm just going to simulate it before explaining further. So VA is 2 volts, VB is 3 volts. So our output should be minus 1 volt in theory. Let us see. Okay, so what we're getting is minus 999.99 millivolts, which is equal to minus 1 volt approximately. So we're going to take that value. Now this circuit, along with the previously mentioned circuit, can be used to implement a linear equation. So what we can do is we can take an example of a linear equation. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this entire circuit before anything else. And I'm going to paste it in a new document. All right. Okay, so let's take an example. I'm going to add text again, just repeating. You can either go to edit and text, or you can press T on your keyboard and the text command will pop right up. So what we are going to have is we're going to take 4 voltages. We're going to take V1, we're going to take V2, we're going to take V3, and we're going to take V4. We're going to add plus and minus signs between them just alternately, because we have subtractor and adder circuits. And I'm just going to randomly add gains to this so that we can use all the concepts that we've learned today. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and place this text right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these voltage sources here so that we can actually add our summer circuits before this. Again, the amplifier circuit I'm going to take from here. So we're going to take copy. We're going to take, no, I believe this is the wrong circuit. Yeah, that's the one we're taking. All right. I'm going to connect this using a wire to our earlier circuit, and I am going to remove one of these voltage sources because we don't need 3. We have only 4 terms in our equation. So we're going to use one summing amplifier to sum V1 and V2, and we're going to use another summing amplifier to sum V3 and V4. And then what we're going to do is we're going to apply these two. So the negative one is going to be applied to the negative terminal. I think I forgot to add a bracket in this equation. Or what we can do is we can just add a negative sign here. Yeah. And I'm going to apply the summation of these 2 voltages to our inverting terminal. So we can delete this right here. We can copy this circuit and paste it down below again. So again, if you see me connecting something to this node instead of this node, it's because that entire line acts as one node in electronics. If you have a short circuit, then it doesn't make a difference whether I connect it here or I connect it here. It's all one node. Now we're going to have to decide the gain of these first. So for this, we're going to have to take an RF by R. I'm just going to rename these voltages to V3 and V4. And this is going to be V1 and V2. Random values of input voltage again, and we are going to choose
Nidhi, just check if you apply with V3 and V4 at the inverting terminal at the output of the first stage, you're going to get a minus V3 and a minus V4, and you're applying that again to the negative state. So they will turn out to be plus V3, V4.
Oh, I have to invert them.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, yes. So what Sir is basically saying is, I'm going to add a texture to explain that. So our output voltage is going to be for this. So for our this amplifier, what our output voltage is going to be is minus V3 minus V4. And I'm applying that to the inverting terminal here again, which is going to make these positive and going to leave these negative in the same manner. Which is why I'm going to interchange these and make this V1 and V2.
Guys, did you all understand this? Did you all understand this particular thing? Why I brought this point up?
Yes, sir.
Right. So basically, you're giving it at the inverting terminal of the first op amp. Right.
Just
So
excuse
the
me, sir, for a second.
Yeah, sure. So if you realize that if she would have given a V3 and a V4 at the top, right, what would have happened was that it's the inverting terminal of the first op amp. So the output would have been minus V3 and minus V4. Okay. This minus V3, V4, minus V4 would have gone again to the second op amp ka inverting terminal. So at the output of it, it would have basically given you a plus V3 and a plus V4, right? We don't want that. We want a minus V3 and a minus V4 at the output. So now if you give the V1, V2 at the inverting terminal of the first stage, look at what's going to happen, right? So plus V1 plus V2 goes to the first stage inverting terminal. So at the output of the first op amp, you're going to get a minus V1 and minus V2. All right. And when this minus V1 minus V2 is going to be given to the inverting terminal of the second, which is the subtractor op amp, it will invert it and change it to plus V1 and plus V2. All right. So that's the reason why we need to change this particular thing. Yeah, Nadi, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay. So what we're going to do is I have renamed this to V1, V2 and this to V3, V4, just like Sir explained. I'm just going to go ahead and it's going to be hard to name the resistors with all this. Okay. So I'm just going to name this as R11. This is our circuit 1 and this is going to be R12. This is going to be R21, R22. And we can simply leave these as R1, R2, R3 and RF. Okay. So we have to decide our gain, like I mentioned earlier for this amplifier. So the RF by R1 value for V1 should be equal to 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and we can leave this as 6K and I'm going to make this 3K. Now RF by R1 is equal to 2. So we've gotten our V1 sorted. For our V2, we need the gain to be 1 itself. I've already kept the R2 as 6, so that way we get the gain as 1. For V3, we want the gain to be 3. Again, I already have the gain because my R1 is equal to 2 kilo ohms and RF is equal to 6 kilo ohms, and 6 by 2 equals to 3. V4 is supposed to have a gain of 2. So I'm going to set this as 3 kilo ohms. So that again I have a gain of 2. Does anyone have doubts regarding the gain? Please let me know.
Perfect. Guys, if you'll have understood, can you just show a raise of hands so that she knows that she can proceed?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry guys, it's just this part is a little tricky. Like I remember us having trouble with it, so I'm just checking with you all. Okay. Now for the next part, we're just going to make sure that all of our resistors here are of equal values, because like we saw in the subtractor circuit, we simply want a V1 minus V2. This is our entire V1 as at the input. I'm just going to go ahead and place. I'm going to label this net. We're going to call it VA. And this is going to be our VB. And these are the inputs to the subtractor. Okay. Yeah, these are the inputs to the subtractor. So now our subtractor output is going to be VA minus VB. So let's just write what our VA is equal to. VA equals to minus plus V2. And our VB minus of 3V3 plus 2V4. Okay, so this is exactly what our equation is doing. It is implementing, our circuit is doing, it's implementing these exact equations. So as for the last part, all of our resistors are equal values, so it's satisfying that condition for the simple subtractor equation. And what we're getting is our V out is equal to VA, which is equal to our VA is, no, we're getting VB minus VA, yeah, VB minus VA, because our non-inverting voltage is VB. I had labeled it the other way around in my Word document, I think. Yeah, we're getting VB minus VA, which is equal to minus 3 V3 minus 2 V4 minus 2 V1 minus, with our minus signs cancelling out, is equal to 2V1 plus V2 minus 3V3 minus 2V4. Does anyone have doubts with respect to this part? It's a bit much, so just let me know if you have doubts. Okay,
Guys,
I'm
have
gonna
all of you all got this? So
Uh,
she's basically done a VB minus VA. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I have it. If the lower op amp was a non-inverting type, so we'd have to change the terminals of the final op amp, right?
If the lower op amp was non-inverting type, then you would probably have to give all the inputs to a summing circuit here, because that way the okay, so if you want the lower op amp with V3, V4 to be of non-inverting type, that means your VB voltage right here will be positive. So this negative sign will go from here.
Yes.
So in order to kind of satisfy the equation, we need to add in a negative sign again. So what we could do is we could use another inverting summer at the output, so that this entire output is multiplied by a negative sign. This is also multiplied by a negative sign, and we get the output that is the equation. I'm sorry if that was a bit confusing. Let me know if you want me to explain that again.
Inverting summer would be like the first op amp which we have given, right?
Yeah, so this exact circuit that we have used here, we would have to use that at the output, except we could so we would give both VA and VB as the summing inputs to it at the inverting terminal.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
Anyone else have any doubts?
Guys, everyone understood the particular this Nidhi, from my end, this is, I think, one of the most crisp explanation that you require for this experiment. Guys, if you all have questions, please go ahead. Okay, that's good. Okay, people who understood, can you just quickly raise your hands? Let's know if you all have understood it. Anyone, any questions? Please go ahead.
Guys, you can ask me questions with respect to LT Spice or any circuit if you want, if you have doubts.
Perfect. I think, Nidhi, at this point, I see that everyone seems to be in a good shape. I think today's session has been more insightful than the prior one, again, with respect to the more additions that they were initiated with. and now it seems like they've gone one step deeper into the software. So that should help them to explore a lot of more things on their own also.
That's good. I
Yeah.
will be uploading that Word document that I did refer to in case you all want to refer to it while making your circuits too.
Perfect.
Thank
Sounds
you
good.
guys.
All right. Guys, I think we can close the session. If you all have anything, you all can put it out on the group itself or on the meeting itself or in the chat section, and we'd be glad to take it up. All right. So this is what we are going to be doing in the next particular practicals. All right. So practical on Thursday and Friday, this is what we'll be starting off with. All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day. Nidhi, again, thanks a lot for pushing this in. It was brilliantly done.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you,
sir.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Sir, I have a doubt in the previous experiment. What exactly do we have to do in frequency response?
A frequency response may you have to specifically look at. I think Shashwat would be able to tell you. I did ask them. I mean, they did ask certain questions regarding that. Frequency response may basically for all the three op-amps, you have to keep increasing the frequency and check at what particular point the sinusoidal wave hits
Triangular.
the triangular waveform. Yes.
But sir, it's not exactly a triangular wave, because if you zoom in on that, it will just
Oh,
show a
you don't have to
sinusoid.
zoom in. You don't have to zoom in. If you keep zooming in, it is always going to be piecewise sinusoidal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's never supposed to be done.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So
All
for the
right.
frequency response, do we take a parameter sweep like we did for the resistor value to find the at what point it cuts off? So do we do it like that?
You don't need the parametric sweep. It's basically just to find out the frequency response of the system. That's all.
So we can just manually keep changing the frequency.
Oh yeah. You can do a parametric sweep. Even that works. You ideally look at it at what particular frequencies it's changing. Even that works. So ideally, it's better always to figure out that it's going to get ingrained in you that okay, this particular frequency is where this guy cuts off.
Okay, sir.
All right. Cool. Okay. I think we can close it at this point then. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.